it is Allie Bear, the gaming bear here, and today we are back with another episode of Planet Reptile. And today, as you guys can see, we are adding in the Spectacled Caiman into our entrance of our zoo. Right now, I really just wanted to get the basics for the water down so I could see where I wanted to put all my hard structures, all my plants, everything like that, just so that I could get a better idea. And I wanted to make it deep enough for them to swim, but also shallow enough so that they weren't underwater the entire time and everyone could see them pretty well. I just want to say thank you so much for everyone showing support to this channel and for the zoo. I am really excited to continue adding more reptiles to it and building new enclosures. I have a lot of big plans for this, and I have a lot of ideas and I just can't wait to see them all come to life. I was just playing with the colors of these rocks here because I wanted to see what would look very swampy, marshy type look, and the dark green just did not look very good. But I finally got the colors that I wanted. And now we are just making like a rocky outcrop, or starting to try to, simply because I wanted there to be a little bit more detail. I've been doing a lot of research. I've been watching a lot of videos, trying to learn how to make my enclosures look a little nicer and make them stand out a little bit more so then they weren't so basic and plain. This is something that I worked several days on to make sure that it would look good enough and would function well enough for these guys. As you guys can see, I still did not learn from the last time building the Asian water monitor exhibit to copy the rocks over or make templates, because I'm still placing them one by one. I promise you I will learn eventually. But I was just enjoying making little rock structures. Over here, I really wanted to kind of have some fallen trees hanging around, although I do all this work and I still don't end up using any of it because it wasn't giving me the swamp vibes that I wanted, especially for these caiman. I wanted more of a tropical swamp type thing, and it wasn't giving me what I wanted it to give. It was giving me more of, okay, there's like beavers or otters or something in here, and I was not a big fan of that. I really didn't want that at all. See, I'm still playing with these trees, and I decided to add some rock and some sand around. I wanted to make sure that I moved the animals over so that they could go into quarantine, even though I don't think it matters. Oh, and then I made the mistake of accidentally buying a son and mother pair, and I had to go fix that. But it does end up getting fixed, and I promise you I don't have inbreeding in my zoo. I would never condone any of that. But here, once I've semi-fixed that issue with the Cayman, I wanted to build like a mud bank type deal. And these rocks just were not turning out the way that I wanted them to. And I was very disappointed actually with how they were turning out, and they weren't giving really muddy vibes. So I ended up changing the color to them all and making them look a lot more gray and green like the other rocks in the enclosure, because again, they were not giving me the mud side, if that makes sense. And again, I still thought that I wanted to have it be a swampy or with like fallen trees and stuff like that, and it was not working out the way that I wanted it to. And here I am still fixing my mother and son issue. Yeah, I could not figure out. I don't know the whole genetic thing. I'm still learning, but I think I got them all figured out, and they're not all from the same zoo. I hope. The females are. I think the females are all from the same zoo, but the male is not. And here I am changing the color to that green and gray because I did not like the muddy feel that it was giving. This is where I realized that it was looking very plain, so I wanted to add some algae growing in the water and some fallen leaves just to make it look like there was life and it didn't look dead and barren, simply because I didn't want it to look basic. I really enjoy adding these, I don't even know what they're called, the green grass type stuff that I'm putting on top of the water right now. I really like the way that it looks in the water compared to what it looks like on land. And I was changing the water because I feel like these guys would live in a more swampy, greeny, dirty-ish type water, and I wanted it to match the vibe. Most of the structures, well, all the rocks stayed in this enclosure, but the logs all disappeared. Every single one of them, because I did not like the way that they looked at all. Again, I wanted some water lilies because, swamp water lilies. It just makes sense. And here they go, all the logs. Then I came over here because I wanted to see what biomes they liked so I could pick out the trees and stuff that I wanted. And this is where I started adding all the foliage and all the plants that I wanted to add. And I added a lot of little tiny ferns and palm trees and grasses and all kinds of stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And I didn't do a whole lot of background work to the walls because I actually kind of liked the squareness of them for this enclosure because it was giving a terrarium type vibe, and because these guys are so little, I thought it was perfect. And I really liked the way that tree looked sunken to the rock area. And I wanted to do that again over there just because I think it made a lot of sense. Here I am just sinking some more trees into the ground here. And I wanted to add a grassy patch because I feel like these guys needed some actual grass instead of the fake Planet Zoo grass. And again, I was just looking through all of the different plants and stuff that they have, and I really wanted to make sure that there was a lot of coverage because these guys are small. Well, they're not small, but they're one of the smaller crocodilians. So I just wanted to make sure that they were all covered and taken care of. But for now, I'm going to divert from talking about this enclosure build to give you guys some fun facts about the Spectacled Caiman. Their name refers to the bony ridge above their eyes that makes them look like they have a spectacled pair of glasses on their face. Their habitat is normally found in the Central and South America, from Mexico all the way to northern Argentina, though they are most common found in the Amazon basin. Males can grow up to 6.5 to almost 8 feet long and weigh up to 140 pounds. That's a pretty good sized dude. I mean, could you imagine running into one of those? And females usually stay about 4.5 feet long, which is understandable. I mean, that's normally how it goes in the reptile world. Although, sometimes the roles are switched. I know that females tend to be a lot bigger than the males in snakes. Their diets are consistent of a variety of fish, reptiles, birds, water birds, crustaceans, mollusks, and mammals. They are very opportunistic hunters, and their diet varies by season, with snails and crabs being more common in the wet season and fish being more common in the dry season. These reptiles are highly adaptable and can estivate, I think that's the right word, or it means hibernate, when the conditions are too hot or food is too scarce. They can also change their color and become darker in the colder weather, which I think is kind of cool. Females build nests out of leaf litter and lay up to 10 to 33 eggs, and they incubate for 2 to 4 months. Females and sometimes males guard the nest until the babies start calling. The young stay with their mother for about 1.5 years, give or take. Spectacled caimans are threatened by illegal hunting for their leather and habitat destruction and environmental pollution, which is really sad. The Amazon is beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And the fact that it's being destroyed is so heartbreaking. There is a population size of about 1 million left in the world, which sounds like a lot, but I feel like it's not that much. And they can live anywhere from 20 to 40 years in the wild. Their top speed is about 30 miles per hour or 48 kilometers an hour, which is fast. A group of caimans is called a basque or a congregation or a float, if you want. I think that's kind of cool. They are semi-aquatic, and they are very territorial. I have a few more fun facts before we kind of get to the end of this episode. So just bear with me here for a minute. When shining lights out in the swamp or wherever you can find these beautiful creatures, their eyes illuminate and reflect a red during the night, and it makes them very easy to see at night or in the dark. After the babies hatch, their mothers carry them in their mouth to a safe location, which is normally like a small little water pool or little creek or something that's kind of away from a lot of predators. Spectacled caimans in their upper jaw of their broad, blunt snouts have about 14 to 16 pairs of teeth and 18 to 20 pairs in the lower jaw. That's a lot of teeth. Could you imagine if humans had that many teeth in their mouth? That's crazy. Way too many teeth. The gender of a spectacled caiman hatchling is determined by their incubation temperature. Females are created, quote unquote created, in temperatures above 32 degrees Celsius, and males are below 29 degrees Celsius, which is kind of cool. And similar to cattle, a female caiman is called a cow, and a male caiman is called a bull. All right. Well, so now that we have all of our facts, I'm back with some more little information about this habitat build. I wanted to give a very tropical type vibe, with lots of trees and rocks and things like that all along the edges, like something has, like all the trees have fallen in, and I wanted to give it kind of a very natural vibe. building that planter that I love to build at the top. And I'm just covering the roof with those flat rocks like I did in the Asian water monitor enclosure, just varying the height difference. I am still learning what plants look really good together, and I am still trying to figure out what all really goes well in a habitat and doesn't look super overcrowded or overstimulated, if that makes sense. But I did really enjoy this build, and I loved watching the caimans swim around. Although while I was watching them, there was some really janky parts in the enclosure, where they were getting out of the water onto the mud, quote unquote mud patches that I made with the mulch, and it just looked a little funky, but it's okay. We figured it out and we got it all situated. And here I am just taking some more screenshots because and just watching them swim and explore the enclosure was just was so cute. And this part, this is where you see where it gets kind of janky. They just walk on top of each other. That just made me giggle. And I wanted to make sure that I moved the last caiman over and got them into the enclosure so that my quad group would be happy and healthy. I ended up having 1 male and 3 females, so he's a cute little bachelor in here. And now it was time for me to add the water filtration system, and for some reason I could not attach it to the path right there. Didn't make sense. I don't know what was going on, so I had to move it 1 over, which is, it's okay, it's fine. I couldn't remember what button I needed to press to turn it in the right direction. And I know that I spelled Caiman wrong. I did that once before. I promise you I get better at spelling, and I will check the spelling next time. And I did, after this episode, I did go back through and spell Caiman correctly on the sign. I just want to say, now that we're at the end of this build, thank you all so much for watching, and if you would love to name these beautiful creatures that are in our zoo so far, we have 3 adult Asian water monitors and 3 babies, as well as we have, no, I lied, we have 2 Asian water monitor adults and 4 babies. And now we have 4 beautiful spectacled caimans that need names. So if you guys would like to suggest names down in the comments, please do. I would love to name them after your suggestions. And I would just like to say again, thank you so much. And if you enjoyed watching, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.